Welcome in, everybody. Don't wake the baby. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is an early morning edition of All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and you need to click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live, even at 4:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Juan, welcome in. Good morning indeed. Guys, wanted to get this live stream out. I know I wasn't able to get out there yesterday on Tuesday as I normally do, but wanted to update everybody in terms of what I'm seeing in the markets. Did want to let everyone know that I should be back at normal time on Thursday to take your TA questions, so no concerns there. But it was a beautiful thing to wake up this morning and see what we're seeing in the market right now. And I really have one big observation that I wanted to share with you, and it gives me goosebumps because it's further confirmation that we really are at a point during price action that I feel I have felt confident that we are at. As you can see right now, it's getting there, Juan. By the way, for anyone tuning in live, I would really appreciate you dropping a comment. I'm curious who we have in the live stream at this hour, because I know I have people tuning in from all over in different countries. This is a beautiful thing to be seeing in the market right now. You know, Bitcoin is pushing up towards $52,000. Now, I've spoken about $52,000 being a significant area for Bitcoin, that once we can get candle body closes, we need candle body confirmation closes above $52,000, that is when the excitement is going to start. Now, I'm a little hesitant to say that we're initially going to blow right past $52,000. Wouldn't shock me to see it, quite frankly, but not anticipating it. And in any event, if we were to blow right past $52,000, I would suspect that's when you'd get a little bit of a pullback. But we're watching some exciting price action come in right now. But what's my big observation? What is my big observation? My big observation is that we are at that point of the cycle when seemingly everyone, bears and bulls alike, are all... What's the chatter? The chatter is where Bitcoin is going to pull down to next. You see, everyone in the market seemingly right now is most concerned with where the pullback levels are. And do you know why that is? Because everyone truly is in disbelief. Bulls and bears alike are in disbelief. The bears have been in disbelief all the way since down here. Okay? They've been in disbelief the whole time. If you were following a lot of the people who were calling for 5 to 10,000 Bitcoin back here, okay, they upped their targets to 15 here. Okay, so they've been in disbelief for a long time. They called this entire thing a bear market rally, right? And I argued at the time, as much as I did not think that this was a bear market rally, and I was out here sharing that, the only way to invalidate that thesis was to create higher highs and higher lows, and to begin to invalidate the lower highs that were created here, right? It's the only way as a bear that or as a bull, that we could invalidate that argument. But what I'm noticing now as Bitcoin is pushing live on the live stream up towards 52,000, what I'm noticing now, and it brings a smile to my face and it warms my heart, is now the bulls are most concerned with where the dip levels are at. In fact, people are going to lower time frames and talking about negative divergences on things like the 4-hour. Now, are these things that we should pay attention to? Should we be paying attention to negative divergences on lower time frames like this, which may become invalidated with this candlestick if we can push up past 79? Yes, this is something that we should pay attention to, because negative divergences on smaller time frames, if they're sustained, I've always spoken about this, that price action on a smaller time frame is going to bleed over into the higher time frame as it sustains itself. But when your point of emphasis is whittling down to a 1 hour or 4 hour time frame and pointing out a negative divergence and not recognizing other charts that are massively bullish in the macro perspective, and that's your focal point, it tells me that you are in disbelief. You didn't see that move coming, and you're probably a little salty. Don't get me wrong, I'm sipping my cup of coffee here early this morning. Don't get me wrong, especially on these higher time frames, if we get some negative divergences come in here, we do need to pay attention to it. But, and you can see we have some on the 3-day here, for instance, right? As price moved up here, negative divergence. You can see with this negative, this candlestick right here, you see this on the 3-day? Right here. Actually, right here, you can see we printed a lower high, right? We ended up having a little bit of a correction, right? A little bit of a correction, very small correction. Now we're starting to move up again and invalidate some of this negative divergence in the RSI. And one of the other key things that I noticed as I was pulling up this chart on the 3-day for Bitcoin, something that should resonate with you guys if you were here for the live stream on Sunday, is that on this 3-day chart, we've been talking about getting this RSI above 70. Look where we're at. So this would tell me if this candlestick prints, and this will print today. This actually prints today. This is pretty big news. I didn't even recognize this until right now. This candlestick, if this prints above 70, this is what we've been waiting for. Because if you were here on Sunday, we looked at the daily, the 3-day, the weekly, the 2-week, and the monthly, and asked the question, when is the last time that all of those time frames had relative strength indexes print at or above 70? And that was during the massive run that we saw from 20 going into 21, okay? We're just waiting on this 3-day, and we're also waiting on this monthly to print. And the monthly right now, the relative strength index is at 68.3, okay? So, I mean, guys, we are set up so beautifully right now that while as a trader, if you want to day trade the market, sure, we should be paying attention to 4-hour charts, but the negative divergences on the RSI are things that are more concerning to us as a macro trade, as a macro investor, if the negative divergences begin to show up on things like a 3-day or a weekly or 2-week chart. Adam, good to see you in here, my friend. Yeah, I know different times work for different people, different strokes for different folks. You know, it's funny, Juan. I actually considered opening up a long on CAS. Now, 100% of my portfolio in Caspa is invested, but I did consider opening a very small leverage play on Caspa when it was consolidating in that high 9, low 10 cent range, and I never did. Which is fine because it would have been an extremely small leverage. I don't mess with leverage. So, no updates on Digibyte. It needs to move. It needs to make some moves in the market, like with a lot of these coins that really haven't done too much. You know, even like Doge hasn't really moved. Digibyte hasn't moved, but it doesn't make me feel any less convicted that they're going to run massively up in value with the rest of the market. A rising tide lifts all boats. But no material updates there. A conservative estimate for Digibyte this year would be pushing up. A conservative estimate would be pushing up very close but falling short of the prior all-time high, if you wanted to know my conservative estimate. So somewhere up towards, 16 to 18 cents. Pedro, hi mate, been following you for a while from Portugal. Very nice, from Portugal. Thank you for introducing yourself here. Thanks for your work and for the daily videos. Happy you have recovered. Thank you, man. That means a lot. And keep up the good work. Actually, as it relates real quick, let me take on a side note here since you brought that up. Track, good to see you in here. My man, Track's in here at all hours. Good morning. I actually just got some blood work done the other day, and unfortunately, I just checked my blood work this morning, and as I would suspect, as I suspected, my body is still not responding well to the medication. So I need to have a conversation with my doctor about possibly changing the medication I'm on. So, but I can definitely tell I'm definitely still off. So more to come there, but appreciate the well wishes. I am doing much better. As we're pushing up towards, we're getting closer and closer to 52,000. Maybe we'll hit it on the live stream. So those are the things that you want to pay attention to. I am under the firm belief right now that we are in true disbelief. Okay? Bulls and bears alike are in true disbelief. Now, are we going to see at some point some sort of a significant pullback? You can see what I have illustrated here so far has been panning out pretty much perfectly. At some point, there will be a divergence. But as I have illustrated here, my general thought is there would be some really hard resistance that would come in around 52,000, and we're going to consolidate in this area before making an explosive move up. We'll have to see. If we start to blow past $52,000 and exceed my expectations, which I'm very open to, okay? I remember this time period back here. When we entered our parabola in late 20 going into 21, we exceeded my expectations, and a lot of people, including myself, were in disbelief, okay? I'm not allowing that to happen this time. I'm very open to the idea that Bitcoin could have some sort of unexpected, on my end, more unexpected, but certainly very possible, move up towards $60,000 before we get a pullback into the $50,000 range. I'm very open to that, okay? And I think that you should be as well. At some point, you're going to get that 20-25% pullback. It hasn't happened yet, though. Take a look at, if we go back to the 12-hour chart real quick, take a look at what actually happened on price action. Now, if you were paying attention to any of the commentary that was out there on Twitter, okay, or on X, as we started to top out at $50,000, as we started to get to $50,000, I actually saw somebody tweet something out that the individual who was calling for that $5,000 price level to get hit on Bitcoin, he took out a short, okay? I just saw him post a video clip of this guy charting something, and he took a short at $50,000. He's not doing well with his short if he took a short at $50,000. There's a lot of people that are trying to get short this market. And when this started pushing up towards 50, everybody started talking about all the levels, you know, right from here all the way down here that we could pull back, right? And while that's always a possibility, one of the things you really want to start to take notice of is what the general sentiment is in the market. Again, my sense of the general sentiment in the market is most people are saying, okay, well, where are we going to pull back? We're going to pull back in these levels. And then the targets are going to get raised, and they're going to get raised. And then Bitcoin is going to fool you, and eventually after a huge run up, it will have a pullback. But for now, price action remains strong. I have no concerns based on the price action that I see coming in here. Ethereum, guys, I've been talking about the fact that as much as Ethereum has lagged, I said I would be shocked. I said this last week that if Ethereum didn't hit $2,800 either this week or at latest by next week. We're sitting at $2,750 right now, so we're right up against $2,800. Of course, this is a 2-week chart. So I still have this area as a red line of resistance until we confirm with this candle body that we've closed above it. This is our major area here, right around 2830. Once we clear 2830, not surprisingly, let me guess, now it's 3500. There's an area of resistance right in the $3,400 to $3,500 range, and it looks like another area towards that psychological level at $4,000. So once we clear $2,800, 3,000 for sure is on deck for Ethereum. And then I would be eyeing 34 and 35. We have to understand as Ethereum continues to outperform Bitcoin and do well, we're going to see a lot of strength come into the altcoin market. Let's see where we're at with dominance. So as I said, as we re-enter this channel, I'm expecting one final sort of push up here, as high as potentially 58% before we roll over. If we look at the relative strength index on the weekly for Bitcoin dominance, this is again doing what I had suspected. I said, now that we broke below this ascending channel on the relative, you can see on the relative strength index, once we broke below it here, I'm not expecting this RSI to get above here and stay above here. It could wick up, but I don't expect it to get above that ascending line. Dominance is, as much as dominance is moving up, the price action says to me that actually it's getting weaker and we should expect a rollover at some point. If we take a look at the Ethereum BTC relativity chart, I have sketched out here in relative terms what I am expecting. You can see we're at this consolidation phase. I am expecting a large move up in dominance at some point for Ethereum. Well, rise in dominance for Ethereum, but I am expecting a large rise up in valuation as it relates to Bitcoin at some point, and then having, a subsequent correction as Bitcoin runs, and then one final last gasp from Ethereum somewhere up towards this dotted line. Now, what is this dotted line? We haven't spoken about it in a long time. I am probably right now in the minority because a lot of people have given up on Ethereum and think it's not going to do anything. I am perhaps in the minority that for well over a year, I want to say, I'd have to figure out just how long, but for at least a year, I have been in the minority to say that yes, I believe that Ethereum is going to flip Bitcoin's market cap temporarily. It could be for part of a day, it could be an entire day, but at some point, I think that Ethereum, you're going to see it as the number one asset on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, and it's going to be a temporary flip. Okay, it's not going to sustain. The orange dotted line is where the ETH BTC ratio would need to get to for Ethereum to flip Bitcoin. No, I don't think Solana is going to flip Ethereum. No, I don't think XRP is going to flip Ethereum or Bitcoin. But yes, I think Ethereum is going to temporarily flip Bitcoin. And this isn't based on my fundamental belief within the... I love people that come out here and have these fundamental narratives and believe that, because of ETFs, Bitcoin's going to $1 million next year, or someone's flipping a switch with XRP is going to $100, which probably makes me laugh more than any of the narratives out there. But we have to be realistic. We don't live in a world full of unicorns, fairies, and leprechauns. We live in the realm of reality, and I work with data analytics at work, and I work with data here. I love it. It's factual, it's clean, it's crisp, it's true and false. And the data in this chart tells me that there's a very high probability that we're at least going to come up here and test these ranges at the very least and get close to flipping Bitcoin temporarily, or indeed flip it. So we'll have to see if that happens in the many months to come this year. Let's see who else we have in the left. Do you think Caspa could go to 12 or 13 cents? Let's take a look at Caspa. I think it's possible. We certainly could get some sort of a... Let's take a look at the daily. It's certainly very possible. Now, mind you, let's get off the price indicators. Mind you, this line was drawn on a 2 or 3 day chart, so you'll have to ignore the fact that it's going through the candle bodies. But mind you, what's happened right now is we've had a huge break out of this consolidation area here. And now we're consolidating once again. You can't ignore the fact that this is an extremely volatile market. Like even on Bitcoin, check out this 12-hour candlestick. We came down here. There was seller exhaustion all the way down here at $48,000. And then the buyers ate that up, and we closed all the way back up here towards $50,000, okay? So Caspa could certainly see some sort of a volatility wick to come down here into these price levels. It would be sensical right in this 12 to 12.9 cent area. And I'm not concerned about that one bit because, again, you're still creating these higher highs and higher lows on the move up, right? For me, I'm just not concerned about that because I'm invested. I'm not thinking that way, but I'm just going to share with you it's certainly possible. The other thing I see as a possibility is we're just going to consolidate right here and just continue moving up. I mean, again, I am expecting Caspa in relatively short order to essentially double from where it's at. I believe that you're going to see Caspa up in the 30-cent range fairly quickly. Wouldn't be surprised one bit. In fact, I'm sort of half expecting it to be pushing up towards 30 cents this month. Yes, this month. And my minimum initial target on Caspa is for it to hit 30 cents in relatively short order. So we'll have to see. If you pressed me and said, and again, timing is the hardest thing. Could Caspa not hit 30 cents until March? Absolutely. But if you pressed me and said, where do you fall on this? I said, if you pressed me from a timing perspective on when we're going to push up towards 30 cents, it's going to be happening by next week, if you really pressed me on it. Could it take another 2 weeks? Sure. Could it take 3 more weeks? Sure. But my initial target before we see any sort of a more substantial correction, my minimum target is 30 cents. TM, good to see you in the live stream. Jep rocks, absolutely. Just taking a look at Caspa here. BTC relativity chart is still looking extremely strong. Hello, CBG from the UK. So don't usually get on the live. I'm always appreciative of your content and fitness tips. Thanks, bro. It's really good to hear from people that I routinely do not hear from, and it's nice because, and I understand, like I'm subscribed to a lot of YouTube channels, and I don't always drop comments, but the more you guys can engage with me and even just share like a quick comment, just letting me know you appreciate the content, it's very appreciated on this end. Something I'm going to get better at, and I might actually dedicate portions of my CBG podcast to reading comments on YouTube. There's a lot of comments out there that I'm good at getting back to people on X and Twitter, but I've been pretty bad about getting back to people on YouTube. So I need to be more engaging there. But I do see the comments, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you for sharing. See what else we got here. This is a token I was considering taking a small position in. This is a lithium. This is a newer token. This is a newer token. This is a newer token. Ticker symbol ALPH. Not a lot of price data here. This is on Mexi. This is on the daily. We're getting some nice consolidation here with an upwards trend. We're not going to look at price indicators. But you can see there's some resistance right in this range here. Okay, it's really a range right around 265. Once we break 265 to, like 280, this thing's going to shoot up and enter price discovery. So, again, I'm considering taking a small position here. But again, the way my portfolio is positioned, I feel extremely confident with what I'm holding and how I'm diversified. I think diversification is key to your success. I'm not a maxi of any one project. And so really the question I'm asking myself is, I don't want to spread myself too thin. So if I do establish a position here, it'll be a very small position because I don't want to, what I don't want to do and what I would encourage you guys not to do, never financial advice, but once you have your portfolio set, don't start swapping tokens for tokens for tokens for tokens for tokens. You have your investing, in my opinion, okay, this is just what I do for myself. It's not me telling you what should work for you, but I believe this is what would most likely work for most people, is to have the majority of your position situated that it's invested. You have a strategy to sell, but you're not selling and scaling out of your investments until you reach sort of that peak euphoria area. That's invested. That's 95% of your portfolio, okay? More than 90%, 95% of your portfolio. Then there's a small percentage of your portfolio, 5%, 10% at most, okay, that is trading. It's active, okay? You're going to pay short-term capital gains taxes on that. You will, if you can read a chart and you're fairly efficient at it, you're going to be in some of these smaller assets and scale out based on a strategy of where you want to have your sell limits set at, and then you're rotating it into other tokens, okay? But again, most, in my opinion, for a multitude of reasons we can talk about another day, I've hit on before, you need to have the majority of your positions invested. I haven't looked at VeChain pan-seared ribeye, but happy to take a look at it tomorrow if you come back for the live stream, or if I think of it if you're not there. I do TA Q&A on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Good morning, Cassius. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a bit. Good to see you, my friend. Anything else? Let's very quickly take a look at total market cap now that we're getting this big push up in Bitcoin. Has Bitcoin gotten to 52 yet? No, it has not. 51.5. Looks highly probable that we're going to push up towards 52. Wouldn't be surprised to get a strong rejection at 52. A little bit of a retrace, or who knows, we could blow right past it. So again, critical area here, we're starting to break above. All I want to see this week, guys, now this is a weekly candlestick, so what I want to see this week, and I'll consider, again, and this is why you need to click the bell icon for all notifications, the more this market heats up and we get some exciting price action closing on a Sunday, the more Sundays there will be that I will be live streaming, okay, for these weekly closes. And I got a really good turnout on Super Bowl weekend nonetheless. So consider that to be something ongoing in the months to come here. But what I want to see this week, this is a big win for us if we can close in this area. I just want to get a close in this area. Let's get a weekly close above 1.8 trillion. Right now we are sitting at around 1.88 trillion, okay? Let's just close above this 1.8 trillion area, because what we're doing is we're creating stair steps, right? I always talk about this. We're getting higher lows coming in and higher highs, and we're moving up. And the thing that I want to reiterate to you, there are things that I routinely repeat on this channel because I want it ingrained in your head. We've had a la-di-da time so far, right? We've had some swift movements up and stair steps, swift movements up and stair. At some point, things are going to get a lot steeper as we enter our parabola, okay? A lot steeper. The pullbacks are fewer and farther in between. We're entering that phase right now, guys. Again, I started off the live stream saying my biggest observation in the market right now is both bears and bulls are in disbelief. Everybody, what is the chatter? The chatter is, where are we going to pull back to next? The conversation isn't, is it realistic that Bitcoin could actually exceed our expectations and start running up towards $60,000? That's not the chatter. The chatter is, where are we pulling back to next? Well, I could see it pulling back to 44, 42. Is 38 possible, CBG? CBG, is 38 possible? I mean, I just got questions the other day on my live stream. Do you think I should buy here, or do you think I should buy it at 38 or 42? So this is what happens when you enter a true stage of disbelief. There will be pullbacks. Okay, Bitcoin's still going to have 20, 25% or more in pullbacks, 30% pullbacks on the way up. We're going to get that high level of volatility. Your altcoins will pull back more than that. But the key thing is, if you were being diligent and investing in the time periods that, while I don't give financial advice, I at least came out here and said it was sensible to buy at certain areas, then you have no reason to wonder where Bitcoin's pulling back to. You're not concerned about it at all because you've bought down at 16, 15, 20, 22, 25, 28, 29, $30,000. You could give two shits less. So Max Payne is up. Very well stated. Max Payne is up. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the live stream. I will be back on Thursday, tomorrow, at about normal time, taking your TA questions. So Make sure to tune in then. It's just going to be a live stream taking your TA questions. Great turnout today. Really appreciate the engagement. I'm going to consider doing more live streams very early in the morning like this from time to time, just to engage with different part of my community that really can't tune in live, because I have people from all parts of the world here tuning in. So some days, I'll be here at 5 a.m. Most days I'll be here at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but some days I'll be here at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live next, which will be tomorrow. And until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness and carry the education forward. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.